Told you once. I'm not going to keep doing this. Step back now. You understand me?
All right, all right. You're not gonna.
Step back.
No, you're telling me that's a crime. That's duress, sir.
I'm asking
Sir,
you to step
no,
back.
I don't have to. I'm on a public easement. I'm on a public sidewalk. I don't have to do that.
Our officer's safety, I'm asking you to step back.
No. For his safety, the crime that you're committing, I'm going to stay right here.
And here's what I'm going to do. If you don't step back, I'm going to take further action. I'm the sheriff of this county, and I'm asking you to step back.
Today's video comes from the channel Illuminati, whose link will be in the description. On September 19th of 2023, he observed a traffic stop. A traffic stop that was being conducted by the Kootenai County Sheriff's Department out of Kootenai, Idaho. When he approached the stop, he was confronted by this lunatic, the sheriff. This is Sheriff Bob Norris, no relation to the much cooler Chuck. He makes it a point to convince you that he believes values and service take priority over personal gain and vanity. He's wasted the taxpayers' money for over 30 years. Again, he'd like to tout that he's managed a multi-million-dollar budget, but has trouble handling a citizen engaged in a lawful activity during a traffic stop. He's a supporter of community-based policing. And nothing says community like spraying a member of said community for not breaking the law. Now, Bob's a huge advocate and supporter of the Second Amendment. Not much of a supporter at all of the First Amendment, but certainly the Second Amendment, whose sole purpose is to defend the First Amendment. Now, Sheriff Bob would like you to be as fearful as possible. Because on paper, these politician cops always want to talk about what they want you to think they are. But what they want you to think they are is never actually what they are. It's normally, like in Sheriff Bob's case, usually the exact opposite. Let's get into the video. Click the link in the description. Let him know Accountability for All sent you, and that's the reason I stopped you today. You're going to notice in this video that Illuminati doesn't say a word to the police. He gets out of his vehicle, he silently films from a public apparatus, an easement at least 25 feet away from the traffic stop, and makes it a point to not engage with them until they realize he's there. And how dare you, the community, hold your police accountable? And here's where Sheriff Bob first notices Illuminati and first makes eye contact. This is where he first realizes that a camera is filming him, and it's not a camera that he has direct access to through Axon that he can just mute or delete. This is a problem for Sheriff Bob in his amazing community policing methods.
I don't think so. No. Shut the fuck up. Get back to work. Get back to work.
Shut the up and get back to work. Well, Sheriff Bob isn't going to be told what to do by the people that pay his salary. The multi-million-dollar salary that he manages so diligently through community policing and all over the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. That in itself was enough to make Sheriff Bob crack. But what comes next? That's just too far. Because Illuminati is about to tell this cop that he works for us.
I'm your employer. I'm recording you. I have a right. No. Are you asking me or are you telling me? You don't have a right to tell me. I have a right to record your crimes. What's going on here? Okay, why did you pull him over? Why was he pulled over? Sir, you have to answer my questions.
And that's extremely telling, folks. He's telling this cop that they've committed a crime, quite possibly one he's stumbled onto and caught on camera. And when it comes to this crime, the cameraman may have some questions. Once Sheriff Bob knows that he and his partner are caught red-handed, that's when things escalate. That's when Sheriff Bob will take no more. Because accountability is not something that should be in the hands of the people.
So you're gonna call back up. Okay, what's your name and your badge number? What's your name? No, I need. No, you're telling me that's a crime. That's duress, sir.
I'm asking
Sir,
you to step
no.
back.
Sheriff Bob says that he's not demanding the man step back. He's only asking the man step back, while impeding on his personal space and becoming physically confrontational and acting as intimidating as he can. And that is exactly what the cameraman said it was. Duress. Now, if I was to ask you fine folks at home to get me a sandwich, then I'd be asking. And you'd have the ability to decide whether or not my fat belly needed another sandwich. But if I was to say I was asking you to get a sandwich for me while I held pepper spray in your face, then I wouldn't be asking anymore. I'd be placing you in duress. And Sheriff Bob, as tiny a little thing as he is, has a huge ego.
I don't have to. I'm on a public easement. I'm on a public sidewalk. I don't have to do that.
Our officer's safety, I'm asking you to step back.
No. For his safety, the crime that you're committing, I'm going to stay right here.
And here's what I'm going to do. If you don't step back, I'm going to take further action. I'm the sheriff of this county, and I'm asking you to step back.
Ladies and gentlemen, cue the moron alarm. That's right. He's the sheriff of this here county, and he ain't gonna take kindly to his officers feeling unsafe. Well, to paraphrase the words of JC News Now, we don't pay them to be scared, we pay them to be brave.
So the sheriff of this...
I'm asking you to step back.
No, you're telling me.
I'm asking you to step back.
I'm on a sidewalk. You can't tell me to step back.
On our traffic stop, creating an officer.
It's...
Step back.
So what's your name and your badge number? You can't.
I told you once. I'm not going to keep doing this. Step back now.
Sheriff Bob admits that he's not telling him, he's asking him, because he's requesting that he do something. Not that he's giving him a lawful command to do something, because there's no lawful ability for this stupid sheriff to demand this man do anything, especially since he's not detained. But when you're in Kootenai County, in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you come across Sheriff Bob and you don't do what he asks you to do, then this happens.
Do you understand me?
All right.
Step back.
You're not.
Nice job, Sheriff Bob. Guy's out, engaging in a constitutionally protected activity, not making any contact with law enforcement, to the point where law enforcement just can't deal with someone not speaking to them and bending the knee and paying them homage, which forces them to counteract and demand that the cameraman, not breaking any laws, subscribe to their stupid orders. Sheriff Bob asks the citizen to do something because it's not a lawful request, and Sheriff Bob's only asking. The citizen declines politely to do what the sheriff is asking. But when you don't do what Sheriff Bob asks, then he engages in use of force to make you question. How is he asking you to do something if he's using excessive force to force you to comply?
Step back. Thank you.
You're in trouble. What's your name and your badge?
Right
Like how far? How far?
Right there. Stay right there.
Question in the comment section. Who's at fault for this incident? Well, while you're answering, hopefully you do it before I come out with the answer on the spoiler alert. The sheriff and the other police officer are both equally at fault. The sheriff, because he's trying to suppress someone's First Amendment rights for no reason, because there never is a reason to suppress someone's constitutionally protected activities, and the second officer for not doing anything about it. It doesn't matter that the sheriff is the top dog and the other idiot is just the bottom dog. I mean, the sheriff is one of the most stupid people I've ever seen, in planet Earth. So obviously the talent pool is very shallow and the hiring criteria is real low. But both of these cops have a duty to uphold the United States Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So I guess these cops need to defend the United States Constitution from themselves and against themselves. Now I know a lot of you folks are going to be quarterbacking this and you're going to be saying, hey, listen, that cop pulled out the spray and the citizen backed down. He shouldn't have. He should have taken the spray. Guys, I've taken the spray, I've taken the shock, I've taken the illegal arrest, I've taken the ride. You can't tell somebody else what to do with their freedom. But I'll tell you one thing. If this guy had, say, taken the spray, then he's sprayed, he's on the ground, he can't see what's happening. The sheriff then takes his camera and he impounds it as evidence. And then that evidence mysteriously goes missing. Now you at home might say, that's a stretch. Evidence going missing? Well, the Boston Police Department is as corrupt as they come. In fact, I'm suing them right now. In 2019, when I first started, they took my phone as evidence. And then all of a sudden the evidence disappeared. Well, the captain, was very stupid because to be a police officer, I think the major criteria is that you are stupid. I was able to track my phone and I did a video on this. My phone went from my arrest location to City Hall, to the police captain's personal home and address, to the precinct, and then back to City Hall, where it shut off for good. In his report, he says he brought it directly from my arrest, where it was seized, to the precinct. Not the case. A judge put in an order with a threat of contempt of court for that phone to be returned to me. That phone still has not been found, and I am still proceeding legally against the Boston PD. So, that video that day with me was live. What if it wasn't live? What if it was static like this gentleman? Police do bad things because it mostly takes bad people to become police. So he gets sprayed, he can't see what's going on, the sheriff takes his phone, destroys it. then we never find out what Sheriff Bob did. Then we can never hold Sheriff Bob of Kootenai County accountable for his actions. But he took the spray to the face, and he got away with it, and it emboldened him to be even worse. I think in this situation, this guy did the exact right thing. But because he did that right thing, the sheriff treaded on him. And in turn, we the people. So now, legally, we have to hold the Kootenai County Sheriff's Department and sheriff accountable for his actions.
So what crime did he commit? What crime did he commit?
I'd like everyone to go to Illuminati. His channel link and link to his original video is in the description. But I'd also like everyone at home to remember that freedom isn't free. There is a price to freedom. Now you'd think, the first part of the word freedom is free. It should come free. And it should. But it won't. And it can't. Because people like Sheriff Bob Norris of the Kootenai County Sheriff's Department are always going to do whatever they can in their evil little ego-driven minds to limit our freedom or to completely terminate our freedoms. The price is being paid daily by the very folks that are holding them accountable, like the gentleman that filmed this video, like the thousands and tens upon thousands of men and women that have filmed videos like this, or the millions of Americans that have fought to protect our constitutional rights. It takes a village. It takes millions and millions of Americans every single day to continue to fight for that freedom. But it only takes one Sheriff Bob to destroy that freedom. Because as we as a community take one step forward, folks like Sheriff Bob are taking 10 steps back. They're setting us back 300 years to a time where we lived in oppression, where oppression and depression was the only mode of understanding that we as a people had. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Now, what that quote means is that equal justice and measure. For every action, there's a reaction. For every bad, there is good. And for every time we have a Sheriff Bob, we need an Illuminati. We need an accountability for all. We need you folks at home in the comment section. Because to battle this tyranny, we need people that will constantly defend the United States Constitution when others who were sworn to uphold, defend, and protect it will not. Because at the end of the day, they're only concerned about one thing. And that one thing is not we the people. It is they the government. We have the ability right now to stand together and to make sure that as little oppression happens as possible. But is that realistic? Are we making a dent? You know, is this like spitting in the wind, where regardless of what we do, they will counteract it with something worse? Even if that is the case, even if we aren't making a dent, there's still good people out there, folks like yourself watching, fighting to make sure that the folks that wear that badge are folks that are going to honor that badge. And when a government becomes too tyrannical, the people ought oppose that government and vote to install a new government. It is my understanding that Sheriff Bob Norris of Kootenai County in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, is an elected official. So it is up to the people of Coeur d'Alene to watch this video and to decide if he should ever be able to put on that badge again, or if he should be lawfully and legally removed from office so that somebody else may be elected to represent the people, their capacity, their interest, and fight for their freedoms, much like Illuminati is fighting for your freedoms. It's interesting. The people that are holding a badge, they don't defend our freedoms. They try to limit them. But the people that are holding a camera are the only ones fighting for said freedom. I feel like those are the people that should have a badge, because those are the only people defending these United States of America. And that's the reason I stopped you today.